Good afternoon, everyone. Dear lecturer Almira Romala and my happy friends. So, today the topic that we will discuss is favorite movies. I'm Farrell, who will serve as moderator today. I will guide the course of this discussion. As for the members of my groups are myself, Farrell and Gracia, Keo, Tita, Kali, and Rifqi. So, well, the series of the events that we will pass are the first one is opening session, the second one is session delivery and presentation of material, the third one is a question and answer session, the fourth one is closing session, and that's all. So, all right, ladies and gentlemen, now is the time for us to listen to the presentation of the first speaker, uh, namely Gracia. So is a student at Sanata Dharma University studying in the English Literature study program. Also one of my friends in my group 7 group. On this occasion, my friend will tell you about his favorite film. Okay, so let's just look at her presentation. To Gracia, we invite you to tell your favorite movie. Yeah, just okay.
Okay, hello everyone. I choose my movie recommendation is The Gift. The Gift is about a married couple, Simon and Robin, that unexpectedly encounter Gordo, an acquaintance from Simon's past. Little do they know that their perfect lives will be thrown into a terrifying tailspin. Um, and the gift cast are Joel Edgerton, Jason Bateman, Rebecca Hall, Alison Tolman, and for the genres, psychological thrillers, crime, and drama. And this movie are about violence, dark, and suspense. Next slide. Why I recommend this movie? I recommend this movie because this movie has suspension that builds steadily. The characters are complex. The film truly blurs the lines between the good and the bad, and this films gives a lot of messages that can make us realize the importance of realizing the dangers of bullying someone in the past. Next slide. And for the strength and weakness from this movie, the strength from this movie are the clever writing as well as the almost flawless performance of the stars. And watching this film feels like opening a gift with many layers of wrapping, intrigue, and at the same time, a little horrified to see the contents. Even so, there are weaknesses of this movie, such as the impression of curiosity at the end is not perfectly packaged, and what I imagined about the storyline turned out to be beyond my assessment expectations. Thank you.
So, thank you so much, Croatia. So the next speaker is also one of my friends from Group 7. His name is Keo. So, Keo, time and space, I invite you.
All right. Okay. Um, Movie that I want to present is Us. It is a 2019 film. It is it is 2 hour and 1 minute long. It's about a Syrian family vacation turns frightening when a family's nightmarish doppelgangers descend upon their beachfront abode. The cast of this film is Jordan Peele, Lupita Nyong'o, Weston Duke, and Elizabeth Moss. The genre of this movie is horror and thriller, and this movie is about violent and dark. Next, why I recommend this movie? It's because the tension between the main characters and the antagonists gives us an adrenaline rush. If you love a movie that makes you like scream or something like that, this is a really good movie for you. The story is interesting. It makes us feel intrigued if when watching the movie, and the expression of each actors bring life to each characters. You can feel you can feel their emotions and their um uh and you can feel their terror and horror when they are got chased or when they met the doppelgangers. Next, the strength and weakness of this movie is the strength is they have an interesting story, an unexpected plot twist, and an okay writing because um, you don't really see a big conflict between the characters. Most of them are like having a little conversation, but has an impactful act toward their movements. The weakness of this movie is that there's not a really lot of memorable moments because most of the scene are they getting chased by the doppelgangers, and I think that's it for my presentation. Thank you very much.
Very much, Q. So the next speaker is my friend's name, Tita. So Tita, time and space, I invite you to tell your favorite movie.
Okay, the film that I choose is the platform is a Spanish language film with a horror genre. The film tells the story of a large tower called the Vertical Management Center, where residents who regularly randomly swap between floors are fed via a platform originally filled with food, which gradually descend to its floor and force in order to create conflict where prisoners on the top floor can eat as much food as possible and leave a loophole on to the next floor. Next, I recommend this movie because this movie has a that its audience has their own perspective for the end of the film. The audience was also confused when a prison employee suddenly became a prisoner and just realized the inhuman act in the prison. Next, strength and weakness. Strength is this movie didn't for those of you who are lover of plot twists and like to guess the storyline, maybe this film will be very challenging for you. The director packaged this story with an interesting concept. The plot twist. The plot twist of the platform takes a picture of social inequality when those at the bottom struggle to survive from hunger to become savages. Meanwhile, those above are filled with all the luxury, filled the great with great and great, the rotation of the well of human life also become a special time of how they deal with situation when they are at the top or at the bottom. And weakness, this movie didn't tell the origin of the system and who was the manager and mastermind behind the prison. For those of you get bored easily while watching movie, maybe the platform is not an option because the beginning to the end of the film, the story is only set in prison. This movie didn't tell some detail of the story clearly. This movie contains sadistic content, disgusting violence, and other scenes. Okay, maybe that's it my presentation. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Tita. It's pretty interesting film. Okay, so the next speaker is one of my friends named Kali. Kali, time and space, I invite you to tell your favorite movie.
Okay, thank you, Farrell. So my favorite movies recommendation is Marina, The Murder in 4Act. The first thing we see when Marina, The Murder in 4Act opens is a gorgeous rural landscape with the distant figure of motorcyclists rapidly traversing it. Uh, so the cyclist long hair flaps in the wind. It's unclear at first if the rider is male or female. A sly way of raising question about gender, whether whether intentional or not. But the main things that grab a viewer's attention here are the beauty of the place and the confident eloquence of the staging, framing, and editing. Uh, the cast of Marina is there are Marcia Timothy, Dia Panendra, Eki Fetli, Yoga Pratama. The genre of the movie are western and drama. These movies include violent and dark. Next slide. Why I recommend this movie is because these movies try to bring up the feminine side, and it was a big deal to make movement within a movie. And then I am recommend these movies for who's are socialists because the plot twist and the story will make everyone totally watch it with full of emotion. Next slide. Those are strength and weakness of this movie. The first one, the goodness is it have a good background places at Sumba, I think, and then they got good settings. They got a lot of physical and emotion tension between the character of the movie, and it movie bring Indonesians hidden paradise as the places and culture. The minus is in this movie there is a lot of blood, violence, and verbal and non-verbal abuse, and then makes people misunderstand about play victim, especially women, and then bring a bad image about Indonesia's bureaucracy and Indonesia's state apparatus, especially the police officer. Thank you for the time.
Thank you very much, Kali. So it's about girl powers, if I can guess. So the last speaker that will speak about his favorite movies is my friend's name, Rifqi. So Rifqi, time and space, I invite you to tell your favorite movie.
Thank you, Farah. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Today I will present about my. It's not a film like my colleagues has presented. It's a series. It's called Neon Genesis Evangelion. It was released in 1995. Consisted of 26 episodes. Its genres are anime, mecha, and psychological. And this anime is basically about 14-year-old Shinji Ikari who one day suddenly found himself told to pilot a giant robot called Eva to fight monsters descending from the sky called angels in a world-saving scene. And this anime is intense and pretty suspenseful. Next. Why do I recommend this series? Neon Genesis Evangelion is a somber portrayal of the mecha genre blended with crude exploration of depression that will push your emotions and leaves you pondering. I think it's a really interesting take on the famous mecha genre at the time. The Japanese anime industry was famous for producing uh, mecha shows such as Gundam at the time, and I think it's 180 degrees different from Gundam apart from the mechas because it's a departure from the regular mecha trophy, such as rather than having a confident young boy as its protagonist, Evangelion chose to have this despondent young boy who doesn't want to take on the full responsibility of saving the world. And rather than having a faithful inventor who is wise, Evangelion have this deadbeat dad who is basically has his own scene on creating Eva. And I recommend this for those who like some cool action robot versus monster scenes, but while also having a meaningful story behind it. It would be hard to follow because of the tonal and pacing shift, but yeah, I think it's really great. Next slide. The strength of this series is obviously the action scenes. The action scenes between Eva and Angels. I think it's really cool. Obviously due to the technology at the time, it's already cool enough. Then the story, like I said before, the story is really meaningful. There's so many interpretations behind it, and makes you thinking. The character's development is really magnificent. Magnificent. We have this group of teenagers that also going to puberty while also saving the world at the same time. The emotional exploration as well. We have this deep exploration of depression. I think it was really played out well in the series throughout the series, and then also us like father and son relationship. I think it really played well. And then the methodological portrayal, I really loved it. There is so many hints regarding the old mythologies, let it be religion or some legends, that kind of stuff. Like for example, angels. It's a reference to angels descending from heaven. Then the Eva, I think it's such sort of reference to a demon because there's this one scene where the Eva went berserk and it really looks like a symbol of demon. The weakness is, like I said before, the pacing. I don't think some people would be keen on waiting out long. The pacing is pretty slow and it would bore you. Then the sudden shift of tone, it was really surprising to me. The tonal shift was just it just changed like suddenly, and yeah, it was really disturbing for me, but I found it really cool as well. So yeah, I think that's all that I could presentate about the series. Thank you for tuning in, and yeah, back to you, Farah.
Thank you very much, Rifqi. So it's pretty interesting, guys. It's the only one in any movie that, well, despite of all that, we speak about the favorite movie. It's pretty good, even though it's made on 90s era, isn't it? It's still good. Awesome. Okay, thank you. So I thank the speaker for giving us a clear explanation about their favorite movies. So we're about to go to next session. It's question and answer, Q&A. So before starting the question and answer session, I will read some provisions that we must pay attention to. The several provisions are: the first one is when the question and answer session is progress, it helps that the discussion participant will always be orderly and calm. And the second one is we will limit the question and answer session to about 2 minutes. I think it's enough for us. So okay, the question for the first question is what's your favorite scene in the film, and the second one is who's your favorite character in the film. So we can start with Gracia, and then Keo, and then Tita, Kali, and for the last one is for Rifqi. Okay, Gracia, I invite you to to answer the question. Thank you.
Okay, so I will answer those questions. For the first answer, my favorite scene is when Simon tracks down Gordo in order to apologize to him, but things go from bad to worse. I I picked this as my favorite scene because this scene shows us the moral of the movie about bullying that Simon did to Gordo in the past. And for the second answer, my favorite character in this movie is Gordo, that played by Joel Edgerton. I like him because he shows us good quality acting, and from his actions, he can show us the meaning of the movie. Thank you.
Okay, next is Keo. You can answer your question. You can from now. Thank you.
Okay. I will answer the questions and um, I'll answer the questions. Uh, my favorite scene in the film in Us is when it's at the right on the it's right at the end of the film where the doppelgangers of Adelaide is trying to kill her and she tried to survive while you can what is it like see the background story of Adelaide and the doppelgangers want that um, and the doppelgangers also want that freedom of that had Adelaide had. My favorite character is Adelaide herself because she is an important role for the film and she is a strong woman character. I think that's it for my for my answers. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Keo. So the next speaker who will answer the question is Tita. So Tita, you can start answering this question. Thank you.
Okay, I will answer the question. First, my favorite scene in the film is when Goreng and Baharat made a plan to go downstairs by rationing food for the prisoners. This is to find a message for the prison admin on the top floor. And the second, my favorite character is Goreng because he intends to make change with the aim of equitable distribution of food in a place that has a real class gap. Thank you.
Thank you, Tita. So the next one is Kali. You can answer this question. So take your time.
Okay, thank you for the time. So my favorite scene in Marla the Murderer in 4 is when she broke the robber's head into the police station, but she doesn't have a good mental to speak to bring the head. So she decides to make a confession. Then, because the cop doesn't make a fast response about the report, Marlena decides to end up the problem by herself with killing all of the robber and rapists. And then the next one is my favorite character is absolutely Marlena because her thoughtful heart and braveness. Thank you for the time. That is from me.
Thank you so much, Kali. So our last speaker that will answer in question is Rifqi. So Rifqi, take your time to answer those questions. Thank you.
My favorite scene in the series would be when Shinji and his Eva, it's called Eva 01. They were fighting this in one episode, and then suddenly Eva went into a berserk state, and the appearance of her was so diabolical, and it scares me. At that point, found it really surprising. And then what's more surprising, what's come after that is Eva suddenly went to the angel, and then started eating it. And wow, yeah, I was just there was so many time like being odd and also slightly disgusted by the scene, but I found it really amazing. And then my favorite character in the series, I think it would be Misato Katsuragi. She's Shinji's guardian slash surrogate mother, if you like. I think she's a really cool character. She has this badass aura. She carries basically the brawn of the series. And then aside from that, she also portrays such human tendency, like she's still slagging in some ways. Also, she's really chill about stuff. And yeah, I think that's what I found from that's what I really like, her character dynamics. Yeah, I think that's it. That should answer it.
Okay. Thank you, Rifqi, for your for your for your answer. That's pretty clear. So, yeah, guys, based on the result of today's discussion, several conclusions have been shown that there is so movie can be like an entertainment for us, but we can take we can while we watching a movie, our brains can think like sort we can build our mindset from a movie that we watch. So there's a quote that I quoted. There's a show me your movie watch list and I show yourself here. So it's pretty good and mostly in our groups is dark genre and heavily topic of in the movies like it's politics and about criminals and about like I don't know like it's a mystery. Yeah, it's pretty heavy topic, but yeah, that's good for us. So there is a conclusion from this discussion. So see you on next presentation. Thank you very much. Thanks for your time and attention. Thank you, everyone.